My beloved ones, my name is Algimantas. I live in a small country which is called Lithuania. This country is in Eastern Europe at the Baltic Sea. I present my spiritual teachings that are related to our everyday living on this planet, which is our initial planet on our journey to paradise. Paradise is the dwelling abode of Creator, and it is a real place. If we had navigation means of that standard, and if we were capable of traveling such enormous distances, so while applying these navigation means, we would be able to reach paradise, which is a geographic center of the whole of creation. So today, while walking to our studio just to record this spiritual teaching, I suddenly noticed a billboard advertising a movie, and the title was Ugly Dolls. And there were several dolls in the picture, and these dolls were actually distorted. They are not like real dolls that would, in a way, satisfy one's needs for beauty while looking at them or taking them into one's hands. They did really look ugly. And now, all of a sudden, I began to expand this idea. The title includes the word which means ugliness, means what is not beauty, but what is evil. It is not what might be described as a creative power. It's a destructive power. It's not creation, it's destruction. If I say a nice doll, a beautiful doll, I express this beauty in my understanding by this word, which means something light, bright, something that we would enjoy looking at, touching. There is no even a tinge of ugliness, because this is beauty. It's elevating. Therefore, this quality, the quality of beauty, is from Creator Himself. This is one of many eternal values. And then I began to follow my trail of thoughts. Why do we even use such words? Why do you make such actions that would, in a way, impose ugliness, evil on others? Why should we profess ugliness? And when I begin to analyze our environment, I do realize that ugliness is expressed everywhere. If you take fashions are now really ugly. They do not represent harmony of the author of the collection on show. It expresses the ugliness of that author of the collection. Ugliness within. And if you take, say, hair cutting, and when I see awful haircuts, both men, children, and women, they look awful, but they consider themselves to be fashionable. They dictate fashions, these ugly fashions, to others. And young people catch these fashions, and they do desire to imitate what is ugliness, not what is beauty and harmony, what is soothing and bringing peace, but what is arousing negative emotions, what is arousing aggression. The next step, different piercings in different parts of the body. This is also aggression caused by fear, not to look original. If one doesn't pierce his nose or navel or some other part of the body, and especially if you take tattoos, these are the expression of evil force, evil mind, evil that comes from the ancient times, from the savage man, when he was putting a tattoo on his body to represent a certain totem sign for the tribe, as the manifestation or as the expression of his protection by the tribe if another tribe kills this member of the opposite tribe. So that was useful for the savage man to wear a tattoo on his body. He was protected by this sign from being annihilated, killed. So what is the meaning of contemporary awful tattoos? There is no meaning. It's the expression of evil without any meaning, because human mind is degrading. He has a lot of information, but this information is in a complete mess. A degrading mind has no wisdom. It has a lot of information, but he is using it in a confusing way, in a way that should bring nothing but a material profit to him. He is scared. He is living permanently in fear. Subconscious fear, it's an enormous power, and this power is dominating human subconsciousness. And permanently, it is springing up to the conscious level by anxiety, by fear, already in a stressful moments. It's open. And if you are a script writer, you do desire to express ideas into your script, just to shoot a movie of horror. This is also a certain expression of fear. And those who watch horror movies, they watch them because they do desire to experience fear within. And this is attraction of low frequency vibrations by the dominant force of low frequency vibrations within one's subconsciousness. In a spiritual creation, similar vibrations attract similar vibrations, not the opposite. It is not the case that low frequency vibrations would attract high frequency vibrations. As on the material plane, the opposite poles attract each other. In a spiritual creation, only similar polarities attract each other. Therefore, high frequency vibrations attract high frequency vibrations. And when I see the expression of low frequency vibrations in a form of ugly tattoos anywhere on the body, I feel that fear which is living in that man's or woman's subconsciousness. It's a true state of subconsciousness. And once this state is becoming dominant on a conscious level, on the conscious plane, a human makes his or her choice to tattoo one or another part of his body. And the more a personality is fear-stricken, the more ugly tattoos are on the body. And the bigger part of the body is tattooed. And there are even those who tattoo all body without leaving a single clean spot on the body. Creator has developed this sort of material form for us on this initial planet on our journey to paradise, that we would care for this body without making it look ugly. And even bad actions, if we want to do some improper action, if we want to make some harm to others, this is also an evil act. And that is destruction. That is a mind which has reached a certain level of degradation is capable of performing, because this mind does not understand what is beauty, what are the qualities of Creator's character, because he lives in the field of low vibrations permanently. Therefore, his thoughts are also occupied by low frequency vibrations. His mind is operating in this sort of low frequency vibrations circuit. And it is just natural that even for children, they begin to shoot such movies like ugly dolls, when you cannot even understand what character these dolls might be representing, because their forms would be that distorted that it would not correspond to any doll that used to be even on the movies expressed for children some 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Now, human mind is degrading all the time. If you watch old Soviet cartoon films for little children, you will understand how much love have been placed in these animation cartoon films. Because even if they showed some animals, some beasts, birds, they looked exactly the way they look in nature. And it is so easy to recognize even a separate species, sort of a bird, of a beast, of an animal. There is no riddle that you have to guess when you watch a contemporary cartoon film what this figure might represent. Just recently I saw a cartoon film where a certain animal was represented by having its lips in place of a cheek. Just imagine, on the side of the muzzle of the animal, there is a mouth. So why those authors distort reality so much? Because their mind is degrading so awfully, because they're fear-stricken. And this fear is being expressed through their mind and passed over to their creation, which is this cartoon film. And what might make on little kids' mind, on their subconsciousness, this sort of a piece of art, as this creator might consider his work as a piece of art? What impact it can make on little kids' mind who, well, might happen to watch this film. It's awful when such people begin to teach others without even realizing what impact the so-called creative work shall really make on their subconsciousness. And especially little kids, they're so sincere and so thirsty for any views, any words, any ideas. They do desire to drink this sort of water and food. And it is very easy to pollute children's subconsciousness when there are such cartoon films on television or on YouTube. But for those who make such films, doesn't make any difference if there is a nice word, if the picture is distorting reality or it is closer to reality. They claim only one thing: I have my own free will, and what I want, I do desire to express in my creative action, in my creative work. And this will have just one-sided impact on the viewer's mind. It will stimulate the viewer's thinking, and it might be possible to say fancy, imagination, but it is not this way. If you show something what is evil, you are polluting any viewer's subconsciousness. And it is a huge, enormous reservoir of information, different levels of information, finished and unfinished, snaps of different sounds and views, conversations overheard or deep discussions somewhere in a conference. But this is a huge reservoir of chaotic things. But it must be arranged into order. And order might be achieved only with Creator, who must be discovered within. And it is only Creator who is the power and even source of creation. And if you want to make a movie, so do please first discover Creator within, and then you will begin to feel a creative power within you, because this power will be bestowed upon you by Creator Himself, and you will be able to make a movie or any other television program that would move others who might be watching this program. And there would be no evil sensations either on this movie or program. There would be no evil, bad words. There would be creative words, creative notions, enlightened truth. And you shall be happy because you will make others feel happy, and you will realize that your work has turned from the evil work into the meaningful work to assist others, to strengthen others, so that they would also begin to turn their eyes to Creator, to the source of light, to the source of love, to the source and center of reality. Of course, we have our free will. By the way, it is also bestowed by Creator upon us. But one's free will has the biggest power, the highest power. There is no other power that might be more powerful. Therefore, everyone is allowed to make a choice between evil and goodness, between what is right and what is wrong, between what is from Creator and what is from an animal mind. So I do desire that there would be no such cartoon films that would be distorting reality, that would be depicting even beasts, animals, or dolls, or human beings in a distorted way. It is not stimulating man's imagination. It is not stimulating man's fancies. On the contrary, it's stimulating man's degradation of mind, because his heart, while watching such cartoon films, is not filled up with love, with beauty, with goodness. Therefore, there is no way that such views might be accepted by humans. But the majority of humanity, they are being led by those who are evil people, because they have turned away from Creator. They do not want to submit themselves to Creator's leading from within. But their power on television and on all the other mass media is great. Therefore, their impact of evil is so powerful, so enormous, that humanity is at a loss. They do not know which way to turn. So that's why I'm trying to help people find the only living path to Creator by discovering Creator within, while keeping one's heart permanently open to Creator by one's own ideas, one's own words, one's own thoughts, provided they are sincere.